Christmas rounds the corner. It's another year, another proud child whose sorrow stands unspoken. They know she's leaving to serve. If somebody wants to be somebody, somebody's. Welcome back in. Yes, y'all. We're back in here, Tony, talking trash about music to go over the albums and rank the albums, solo records of the great and eccentric is the word to go with this thing, Van Dyke Parks. The great Van Dyke Parks, the collaborator of Brian Wilson on Smile, the collaborator of Brian Wilson on other projects. The guy who just seems to have mastered calypso music and have Caribbean sounds and did film and TV scores and including contributed to the Bare Necessities and for the Jungle Books, Come to the Sunshine. What a career this guy had. This is before Brian, this stuff. I mean, he had a lot of stuff. He child acting roles he had before. Just an interesting person, influenced by, he is into Trinidadian calypso music is what he called it. I'm looking to see what he had. And it really is ushered in soon after his first record. His first record really came, I guess, on the heels of his prominence in the Beach Boys Smile Project. Lenny Waronker knew, and Lenny Waronker took him. And notoriously one of the most expensive records ever made with hardly any. And what a weird sounding record. I mean, when that record came out, I mean, after that record came out, it kind of paved the way for the other ones. But boy, what a different thing. But he's got stuff, other work with it. He did Popeye soundtrack. He did Brave Little Toaster. He did the wonderful adaptation, and we'll talk about it in his discography about Jump, which is essentially all the Brer Rabbit and all those things happened too. Later on moved on into some other areas. Tokyo Rose, which was kind of a hard, it was kind of an American Japanese relations, and was not a very, he didn't have a really great. Didn't have a really great, resonating message like some of the other Americana and the other stuff were kind of easier sells. But when he started on, he played folk music, worked in Disney gigs, new in the Laurel Canyon scene. And that's kind of how he came into doing session work and had, actually worked some with the Lovin' Spoonful and worked some essentially with Brian Wilson, with Zappa as well. Was actually a short member of the Mothers of Invention, with nobody knows about that. He ended up Harper's Bazaar. He ended up, christening them as a new band. Worked with them on all the stuff. The Bo Brummels, had the writing team. With Randy Newman and such. And so he, came into his own stuff, Donovan's Colors and so on. The rest is history. Still alive, still kicking. Most recently had a collaboration of singles that he released solo and he'd compiled together as a record. So I'm going to count that as a collective because there's some really great stuff on that, as you'll see. And so I'm going to get started in ranking this. Why don't you guys smash the like button on the way in this damn thing? Smash it 1,000,000 times. This is a guy that's really, I would encourage you guys to educate yourself about Van Dyke Parks. Van Dyke Parks had a huge influence on some of the more experimental area of the Beach Boys, and really kind of splittered Brian off from the pop boy girl car surfing songs into a more introspective and alliterative. I remember him saying, I had to defend my lyrics. I had this over the chord, the crow cries. He goes, I don't know what that means. He's wonderful. And so let's go with this stuff. And, it might not be for you. When you hear his voice, some people do not like that voice. They don't like that voice. And he doesn't. There's a fair amount of instrumental music on his records. Let's go through these. I have 7 if I'm going to include Orange Crate Art. It's not a lot. You think about a guy that's been active, but a lot of his stuff again has been orchestration. He did a lot of orchestration, even up to the later day. Has done stuff and continues to work in the field. And so we're going to go through his records here, and we're going to go. And he does a couple notoriously short records, and we're going to start off with one of those notoriously short records, "The Clang of the Yankee Reaper." This is a record that is a little bit different. This is a 1975 record. And this, he said about it himself, that this was kind of a worn out thing. It's kind of a Discover America Part 2. You've got a lot of these songs that are all cover songs, but you have very calypso sort of move on it still, but you still have with this what I consider this was released, and it said it was released in 1976, but it just continues on, and it's really, really short. It's only 29 minutes long. Past that stage, Another Dream, but they're all again covers, and he scattered his ashes. Let's see, what is he talking harshly of the album, describing it as brain dead. He doesn't particularly like this. I don't think it's that bad. It's enjoyable. But at the same time, it is, I understand, it is not enough different. If you look at his entire catalog, it's probably the only time when he put it in 1976, and it's still 4 years later, where there really wasn't that much difference in direction. Perhaps he was frustrated by the way that came out. Again, this is an Andrew Wickham, Trevor Lawrence production, so it's a little different than what happened, but it's pretty much calypso music straight out. And it's almost all cover versions, guys, as we're talking. Let's go on to the next one here. And I am talking about one that really, of all the records he had that really hit kind of with a thud, and I'm talking about Tokyo Rose, because it goes over some really uneasy things about the relationship of the United States and Japan, and Yankee Go Home, of course, is the song on here. And just an interesting deal there. You see the signature there, beautiful. But My Country, 'Tis of Thee, and all this stuff, it comes just really heavy-handed. And I know Randy Newman can be like that too. And they're close. And Calypso, Trade War, Out of Love, One Home Run, Cowboy. I mean, it's kind of harsh. Some of it's kind of harsh, and a harsh criticism of this country, which in today's day and age, I guess, with the current government we have, probably would get somebody in trouble. But at the time, Van Dyke was ship ahoy, huh? Boom, he was gone. An interesting record. His voice interesting. A lot of it instrumental. A lot of it really sounding like Japanese illustrations and such, and beautiful. And that is Tokyo Rose, and that record is from 1989, or at least actually 1988. At least about a year later. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to number 5, and I talked about this in the Brian Wilson day. Let's talk about Orange Crate Art. This is one where it sounds like there's resistance, and it sounds like this was written in the project. Hey, put this together, songs for Brian to sing. Van Dyke in charge, buddy, 100%. Flipped from Smile. Smile was Brian's whim. This was Van Dyke's. And Van Dyke, Palm Tree and Moon, Wings of a Dove, My Hobo Heart is good. Orange Crate Art is okay. Then you got the instrumentals, really. The side one, and then you've got just a little bit of stuff here from this. But this is the original version with instrumental music. The other version of this has vocals on it, and it is what it is, and it's a little different. Brian seems like he's on the way back, coming back, but there still seems to be a little stiffness to it. And it's surprising to me, coming on the heels of how fluid his other record went. And that's probably why the record is not more well revered by anybody here. I'm sorry I didn't say that in the other one, but my hobo heart, movies is magic. The town goes down at sunset, and Lately Hazelwood. I mean, it's just an interesting record, but at the same time, more out of love with Brian than anything else happened. Let's go to number 4, and with number 4, I think I hinted at it before a little bit. Let's talk about, which isn't really there's not really a it's not really, I guess, a record released contemporaneously, but 2013 song cycle. Why am I cycled? He means recycled. These are all the singles that were put out for Van Dyke. And look at this kind of, I don't know what you call this art style. These are all the singles that he put out on his own label, and then they compiled these when they were done for Bella Union, which was his label at the time. So you have on side, it's not done. It's not, the interesting thing is it's not really done in the time of where it was. This one, Wedding in Madagascar, Dreaming of Paris, Hold Back Time, Black Gold. I love Money is King. I think Money is King is super. Wall Street, where the people are dying, in the about the 9/11 and stuff. It's intense, man. Sassafras, Black Gold, beautiful. Just a beautiful, and he continues to do it his own way of his own way of moving forward. This is for somebody at this age. This is extremely strong art to still be making at his age. And I admire anybody, given the fact that I'm 65 here and I admire anybody with a stamina that can put together this stuff and can move forward. And he did it with singles, and he couldn't have made any money on it. I mean, he's talking about dealing with 45s. I mean, there's how much of an upshot is there with that? Not enough to make any kind of contributory factor to your lifestyle. That's for damn sure. Anyway, but I admire it, and there's some brilliant stuff on that. And if you want the best of Van Dyke Parks, that's to me his 4th best album. Could actually almost be his 3rd. And let's go on to number 1. Number 3, it's going to be really close. I'm talking about the stunning Discover America. When this album came out 5 years later, look at that. His look. Look at that look. Trinidad, Hollywood. It's total lit, man. The one bus says Trinidad, the other says Hollywood. There you go. Sweet Trinidad, FDR and Trinidad. Be Careful, which is beautiful. Jack Palance. Acapella, which is just wonderful cover there. Sailing Shoes of Little Feat. It's just baffling. I remember when it came out, I was like, what? You're wondering, who is Van Dyke Park? Who is this guy, man? I mean, to put out records like this, there's nobody else really allowed to put out records like this that float between a little bit of the vocals and the instrumental. What a huge departure from his first record, which was really off the chain to start with. But you've got Alan Toussaint's, some a cappella song on there. Little Feat, Sailing Shoes. You got John Philip Sousa even on it, So it's trying to get together. He said the title of the album's from the poem I'm Waiting by Lawrence Ferngully. They were done during the originally written by early Calypso 1920 through 1940. So this is a different thing. It's art rock, progressive rock. And Jack Palance even, he's doing Mighty Sparrow and stuff, which is incredible. I've got some Mighty Sparrow stuff. 4 Mills Brothers, Be Careful was a beautiful. I think Be Careful is really, really special. But no, I really like this record, and it took me a while to get into it. It's one of the ones where you listen to it, and you're at the beginning, you're thinking to yourself, "What in the hell is?" It's a really strange departure, especially if you took the time to dig into the song cycle. I don't know how the hell you get to it otherwise. I mean, it's not really. I know he had some people that because of his connection to Little Feat, and he had some of that, but it wasn't really that. What do I have here with this? We've got, and I don't know what the heck this is. This is one that we got on postcard, music for the silver screen. Super Chief. I did not count this as a uh, specific record. This is music for the silver screen. I just wanted to show you guys this. If I would put it in here, this would be where I would put it. I would put it this high. This is some really, really brilliant stuff. Even a step up from some of the arrangements on the singles. Forgotten Not Gone, Just Yonder, you know, Super Chief. This is just always beautiful instrumental music by Van Dyke. So if a lot of you guys don't like vocals, find yourself your way to this. This is music for the silver screen, completely composed by Van Dyke Parks. So I mean, this is really good. So if you're gonna make this more than 7, if you're gonna make it an 8 thing, we'll put this one in here at in between number 3 and number 2, so number 2.5 or whatever. You want to go ahead and bump the other ones back, we can do that. Let's get down to number 2. Number 2, I told you about it a little bit in the beginning, and this is something here, man. I'm talking about Jump, and this is one with the freaking voices and the stuff of the high voice and stuff, and maybe Steve Goldman here. And this is just like, you can tell this is a love of a lifetime here. You've got it so much more like the soundtracks and stuff he had, but here's all the Brer Rabbit stuff, man. Jump, Opportunity for Two, beautiful. Many a Mile to Go, After the Ball, Hominy Grove, just beautiful. Just a beautiful, in the world of Brer Rabbit, good does triumph over evil, and it's just a beautiful thing with a beautiful message and a beautiful tribute that can't really be compared to. I mean, this guy, so many turns, so many deals, but this is high art, and you don't have anybody hardly capable of this in the rock music realm. Even some of the more coherent and capable people. And it's interesting because Van Dyke is probably probably the people looked at and said, what is he, what does he do? You can't really tell what he does. Well, my God, he knows a lot, and he has opinions, and he has things that work for him. But Jump is something that not everybody's going to like. I think Jump is a triumph. I think Jump is one of the great ones, produced by Steve Goldman. It is. It sounds like scored by like a professional Disney person. It's just beautiful. You've got everything involved in it. The mastery of that record, Tin Pan Alley, Broadway musicals, bluegrass. It's Joel Chandler Harris's Uncle Remus Tales is what is put to music, and it is one of his crowning achievements. And for the other crowning achievement, I'm going to put the record that not everybody's going to agree with. Probably the people that like the outsider, the strange stuff a little more than me. Here it is, the one that started it all, 1966 recorded song cycle, Van Dyke Parks, with one of the most broken up, crazy, flowing style of singing you've ever heard. Laurel Canyon, Beautiful by the People, Potpourri. Lenny Warnaker produced this thing. Palm Desert, Widow's Walk, Laurel Canyon Boulevard, the song Public Domain, Donovan's Colors, which is, of course, is a cover of Donovan's stuff. The Attic, just there's nothing like this. If you know what this is, it's fun. He sent out this as a lost leader. They tried to beg would give this record away because they spent so much money on it. I'm telling you, man. thank God there's a world. This is a record where you say, thank God there's a world where somebody allowed this record to come out. Because, it's not the stuff that people call good or the stuff that people call mastery of this and that. It's the people that stick out like a sore thumb that provide the frame of everything that we work in. And this is that kind of record. This is a really important record to people who are creative, to people who want to listen to a different angle at it. It's certainly not intended with the style of vocals to be the pop charts, but he was in the pop charts plenty growing up. Look up this guy. That's one thing I think is interesting. I think his life would make a fabulous movie. I think it would make everything he was through. It would be the life of Van Dyke Parks would be one hell of a biography for everybody to watch out. But anyway, these are my Van Dyke Parks records, guys. You tell me what you think about Van Dyke. You tell me about the richness and the difference of this. This is just like the best way for me to describe this is, and it's even discovering America, it wasn't like this. This is like almost like Willy Wonka or the land of Willy Wonka, or like something where he walks and every like thing he touches goes into multicolors and stuff. This is a weird production. They really accomplished something strange here, but with some of the delays and stuff on his voices are really funny. But yeah, man, I love this record. This gentleman here would give us a lot of fun right up to the present day. Thank you guys for tuning in here. Leave your list below. Leave your Van Dyke thoughts below, please. Van Dyke is one of the more underappreciated artists, I think, going. This again, I'm sorry to get these hiccups. Just fantastic. Love him. And anyway, if anybody has any other thoughts on that or any comments from what I said, please leave them below, guys. I'd like to get you mixed up in this thing. Please leave your thoughts, your list on these things, and we will catch you guys soon with my favorite. I can pick out probably 10 tracks from these that I'm crazy about. So that's what I will do. And I will see you guys on the other end of this very shortly. Thank you very much. Catch you next time. Somebody